even that, you know, it was a drill in, what is your spirit telling you? Because when she said, well, they'll do it, but it's catered. You know, that didn't shake me because it's like, that's something Gene would do.
Yeah.
Like, we've done this before, so that's really not a problem. Why don't we look into catering it? And, you know, so even in that, just a drill of that, of this didn't come together because of some perfect plan. It came together because it's like, well, you have kind of take it or leave it. It's like, well, let's spend the money that we do have and take it because we don't want to go eat dinner and leave it. You know, we don't want to go to some dingy place.
You know, when you said, when I told you how much it was per head,
Yeah.
and you went, oh gosh, you meant, oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's cheap. I'm thinking you mean, oh gosh, that's expensive. So as you went on, I was like, oh, I guess he's okay with that.
And as I reported to everybody else, that everybody else's answer was the same. Like, what? That's it? That's a no-brainer. You know, let's do it. But it was still, it was a follow your spirit situation. It was, you know, where's the life at? And you know, even just going with what Dan was saying about, well, what Dan and Rick both shared, you know, just about family and about the seasons, being able to go with the seasons. And just a couple of days ago, actually the word just lighten up came to me, and I don't know, whatever the season is, I started thinking about Gene, his training to us, and our time in his office. You know, I started thinking about how he was, and he was really good about being instant in season and out of season. You know, he could laugh with you if you came in laughing. He could laugh with you, and if you came in weeping, he was usually crying with you about the situation, and then he'd give you the wisdom to get out of it. And literally that day, yeah, I met up with Dan and Rick, and Dan starts talking about that. I wrote a couple things down about that. You know, he was enraptured in Jesus' love. He had no agenda. He followed Jesus daily. He witnessed just to what Jesus had done in him. And what hit me was his singular focus was just to please Jesus every day for himself. And then whatever happened, whatever the ripple effect with everybody else was, it was. And, you know, just talking about family, it was yesterday morning. I was praying the Lord's Prayer, and it just came back to me again how sometimes Gene would explain it, you know. Our Father, Josh's father, John's father, Noah's father. I just started hearing it that way, and I just involuntarily just kind of dropped my head and said, you know, Lord, thank you that you move on the shallowest of prayers. On, you know, Jesus, please speak to me. Jesus, I'm wrong. You're right. Please help me. Thank you that you are my dad's father, my mom's father, that you're all of our fathers, and that we are your family. And so, you know, when you guys were talking about family, that just came back to me, that just how Gene would always share that with us. And just the simplicity of that. And even being here. So getting the room, honestly, just, I could see it. When Debbie said it, it's like I could picture us being here, you know? And the thought that came to me was Dima Shakarian paying for the businessmen to just have dinner in a hotel, upper floor hotel. And just the spirit of that. And,
Amen. Yeah. I've been in the flu.
yeah. I wish, this is the closest thing I've seen. You know, it's neat. I just had a dream this morning, and this is super simple, but I had a dream that we were getting ready to come here, and only it wasn't here. It was we were doing this at the post, and we were getting ready to load up. Gene and Joe were outside. It wasn't anything deep, but it was actually, and this goes back to lighten up, and like Dan's saying, and be of good cheer. Be cheerful when it's time to be cheerful. And be grave when it's time to be grave. But know when those two are. And in the dream, it's just, honestly, it was just, came out the front door. Joe was suggesting something to Gene like he would do sometimes. You know, we should do this. And he got that, you know how he'd get out of breath when he laughs. You know, he just got on a laughing roll. And just coming out of the door and hearing that in the dream it was just a gift. And that was it. They were gone and went back inside. And so be of good cheer. Be of good cheer came to me. And it's Jesus talking to his men right before he leaves. And he says, you know, in the world, you will have trials and tribulations. But be of good cheer. Because I've overcome the world.
Yes.
And so that's about all I
Amen.
that's all I had.
Yeah.
Other than the last thing, this room. I went to get a drink, and I was over there looking back this way, and Janelle has been asking me to share about the post, and I can share about the nuts and the bolts of how the post is going to come together. But this room is the vision of the post, as it was described to me by Gene.
Oh, wow.
The chafing dishes, the approximate size of this room, the setting. These are everything that he wanted to happen at the post. So when I was over there, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was getting my drink, and I looked back this way at everybody, and I realized I know why we're here.
Wow.
Because this is your vision of the post. If you want to know what's going to happen at the post, and even aesthetically, somewhat of what it's going to look like, just look around. Look at the meal fixed for the king. Look, you know, look at each other. It just hit me, man. I know why we're here, because this is, you know.
I had that thought too. Like looks like something we'd set up.
Yeah, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. This is, everyone can see what the post is going to look like.
I got a.
I'm not saying finish, I'm saying
Let it
so.
so, yeah.
It'd be better to go over here. So
Dad
you
would love the
can
brown
hear.
and tan.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to